Guys, I don't think I'm doing any of this right. What's up guys, it's Primus the Creator here, and welcome back to my channel. Now, today we're going to be reviewing the Transformers masterpiece, Decepticon Blackout. Now, before we get started, please make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to turn on post notifications so that way you guys don't miss any uploads that I do, and I really hope you guys are excited for this video. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, as you guys do know, I did get this figure back at TFCon Orlando in October of 2023. Now, I tried really hard to resist to try not to get this figure, but in the back of my head, I kept hearing people say that this was the best MPM figure of all time before Bone Crusher came out. So I was like, oh, what do I do? So you know what? I got it, and I'm really excited to review this figure. Now, the reason why I've been delaying this is because it's just the whole transformation to the helicopter one. I already had trouble with Studio Series, so I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm like, fine, I'll torture myself for you guys. So please, at least leave a like on this video, or maybe even go beyond that and subscribe, please. I beg. Was this the best MPM figure that they have ever made? Does MPM Blackout live to the hype? Without further ado, let's take a closer look at MPM number 13 Decepticon Blackout. Taking a closer look at this beautiful figure, you can see that the head detail looks freaking phenomenal. I love the head sculpt design on this figure. It looks fantastic. I love this. You got the nice red for the eyes there, and just a little bit of yellow there, but even then it just looks so good. I do quite like this a lot. It's going down the chest area. You can see the nice detail, the little bit of weathering effects of the gray that I do like there. See the beautiful amount of detail that this figure has. I am in love with this thing so much. Just going down to the arms, do got some again nice mechanical detail. Do got a little bit of bronze there, getting a little bit of the weathering effect. I do love that the blue that they went with this. I think it is very screen accurate, and just again the amount of detail that this figure has is fantastic. On the top, do got again more detail there, a little bit of bronze. My only complaint is that this figure's freaking heavy, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this figure's heavy. But yeah, just the detail and everything on this figure is fan-freaking-tastic. I'm telling you, the camera cannot capture everything, but in person, this figure feels and this figure looks amazing nonetheless. The reason why this figure is my number one figure of 2023. But this figure did come with a few accessories, so let's take a look at them now. Take a look at his first accessory. Here we do have is his rotor blade. This does look really cool. This part does spin, and luckily these do spin, but I kind of have to get it out the way so that way you guys can see. But yeah, this is all plasticky. Sadly, it is what it is, but it does look really cool nonetheless. Up next here we do have are his miniguns, his little mini weapons. They do look good. I do quite like them a lot. I do wish they were at least painted a little bit of that weathering effect that this figure does have throughout, but it is what it is. It does look cool nonetheless, and he does come with a little bit of blast effects, which is really cool. I love this a lot. This one's my favorite. Now, to install Blackout's weapons, all you're gonna do is come here to the arm here, and there's gonna be a tab right here, and the minigun is already gonna have a peg right there, and all you're simply gonna do is plug it in like so. It is a nice grip, and then if you want, you can add the blast effect. There is gonna be a peg right there, and again, all the weapons are gonna have a hole right there, and all you're simply gonna do is plug it in like so. There you go. Now you have him doing his really cool like little blast effect, which looks freaking awesome. Now, to install the rotor, all you're gonna do is flip the hand around like so, and there's gonna be a hole right there, and you can see that the rotor does have a peg right there, and all you're gonna do is simply just plug it in the hole like so, and then there you go. Now you have holding its really cool looking rotor and it's very awesome looking blaster. There's not much I can say about this figure that I haven't said already. This figure feels and he looks fantastic. Just the detail into everything. I am in love with this figure, and he is the reason why he's my number one. Now, MPM Blackout is freaking huge. So for my first size comparison, I can't wait for this. Here is the MPM Blackout compared to the Studio Series version of Blackout. That way you can see how they both do look there, and this is not even a comparison whatsoever. Holy, the size difference is freaking huge, dude. wow, you can see right away that the details on the MPM figure are vastly superior than the Studio Series 1. But the Studio Series 1 did do a great job. I'm not gonna lie, it was a good stand-in until I did get this MPM Blackout. So if you guys do want the best version, I take go for the MPM Blackout. But this Blackout for Studio Series didn't do that bad. I do think they both have their own pros and cons, but MPM Blackout just wins without a question. For my next size comparison, here is MPM Blackout compared to the leader of the Decepticons, Megatron. That way you can see how they both do look there. And yeah, Blackout takes it up a whole nother level. But nonetheless, I still think that Studio Series did do a great job. I don't have any other MPM figure other than this Blackout, so I gotta have to make this work. But nonetheless, I do love MPM Blackout a lot. And for my last size comparison, here is Blackout next to Voyager class Dorito Man Starscream. Yeah, again, don't have MPM Starscream. Will I be getting it though? We will see. But nonetheless, Studio Series did do a great job. And honestly, these two don't look that bad together in my opinion. Now for the articulation, the head is on a ball joint. He can look up that far and he can look down that far. His arm can move out, of course. Bicep swivel. Then at the elbow, oh, a ratchety. And he does have a wrist swivel, and his fingers are articulative. Thank you so much, because as we all do know, the Studio Series one can only go up and down. That's roughly, but like, what the? He does have a beautiful waist swivel, maybe a little bit too loose in my opinion. He does kick up roughly about that far, and it can go back roughly about that far. It can go a lot farther, but I just don't want to break this thing. He does have a thigh swivel. Bend at the knee, of course, and he does have a beautiful ankle pivot, and his toe can go up and down as well. Now, even though it did look like a little bit of a cluster, I'm letting you know that the posability on this Blackout is fantastic. There is so much posability that you can do with this figure. It's honestly astonishing. Now, even though, of course, it did look a little bit messy, like I said, I'm telling you guys, it doesn't get in the way. Maybe a little bit, but the poses that you want to do with this figure, you can, because it's freaking fantastic. Not gonna lie, you do have to move a lot of parts out the way in order for you to get to that pose, but it's so worth it in the very end. But alrighty guys, I think it's time, sadly. There's a reason why I've been delaying this video, because I did get him in October and I wanted to review him, but it's time for me to transform him into his very cool, very accurate helicopter mode. And the Studio Series 1 was already a pain, so I know this one is going to be a pain. I don't know how long it's gonna take me, but here we go. Here's his helicopter mode. Guys, I don't think I'm doing any of this right. How are your transformations always so different? Yeah, when I say that this thing is huge, this thing is freaking gigantic. Not only is it gigantic, it looks super screen accurate. This looks amazing. This is the best screen accurate Blackout you will ever get. This transformation took 40 freaking minutes, and this thing is freaking huge. I can barely get it on camera how huge this thing is. Taking a closer look at the detail on this thing, it's fantastic. Again, I love the color that they went with this. It is very screen accurate, and even the small details that this figure has is awesome. The danger, keep away, USAF 4500, like he did in the beginning of the 07 film. I love it. Even just going down to the very front, again, you do got the 4500 X sign right there. And just, I can barely hold this thing is freaking every little detail that is probably in the movie is on this figure, and I love it. The wheels do roll, which I do like. Do got the little mini weapons that he have right there, and you can't put the blast effects on, but I'm not gonna do that right now. But yeah, this thing is huge. Also, the rotors do spin very freely, which I do like, and the back blade also does spin very freely as well, so thank you for that. The transformation to get here was not simple, but it is so worth it in the very end. Of course, this figure feels solid. If this figure feels like a brick, which I do enjoy, thank you, but I think it's a little bit too solid because there were some connection pieces that I feel like once I tapped it in, it is not coming off. I totally forgot to mention that this Blackout does come with Scorponok. Just take a look at this thing. I love this thing. Now, I do have the original, I think it's the 07 Scorponok, you know, that really huge one that was first released. Yeah, I still have that one, but this one does look really cool. I will be keeping the 07 though, but this is nonetheless really cool. Do got some nice detail there for the eyes. I do love the color that they went with. There's like a little bit of a bronze gold paint. I do love this a lot. And yeah, the top, it can spin. He can, you know, articulate and stuff, and you can just bend in so that way he can be able to fit inside the back. But nonetheless, I do love this Scorponok a lot. And honestly, for the amount of detail and the amount of paint, this is fantastic. Way better than the Studio Series 1. I did lose the Studio Series 1 though, so sorry. Now for a size comparison, here is the MPM Blackout next to the Studio. There is no way in heck I'm transforming that after I just transformed this. Ain't happening. Can we just imagine real quick, like this guy's a helicopter. Oh, look at the size comparison. It looks really cool, right? Yeah, I mean, this is going to be superior anyway, so there's no... But alrighty, guys, I think it's time. I think it's time for me to give you guys my overall review and my overall grade on this figure. For my first MPM figure, I feel like Blackout succeeds on the highest level. People have been raving about this figure, and I can see why. Both the robot mode and the helicopter mode are fantastic. Now, this figure doesn't come without its cons, of course, but we're going to talk about that in a couple minutes here. So here's my overall review and my overall grade on this figure. Alrighty, guys, there you go. There you have me review the MPM-13 Decepticon Blackout. Now, what do I think? I think this figure is freaking fantastic. There's a reason why this figure is my number one. I am in love with this figure. There's not much that I already said about the figure that I haven't already. It's fantastic. It's amazing, down to the detail, down to the face paint, down to basically everything about the figure I love. And the screen accuracy is there, which I love. So for that, I do have to give this figure a solid 9 out of 10. Yes, a 9 out of 10 on this figure is really good. There's just a couple things, well, maybe one critical thing that I don't like about this figure, so let's talk about it. The only thing I don't like about this figure is that the transformation is a mess. Yes, as we all do know, Bayformers, you know, every transformation from the Bayformers always has to be a mess, and this is a huge mess. This was basically my first time transforming something that wasn't other than Studio Series, or at least a Deluxe or Voyager. This was something brand new, and let me just say, it took me 40 minutes. 40 to transform this figure. And there were a lot of pieces where I thought it would never come off again because it was insane. But is it worth it in the end? Oh heck yes, it's worth it in the end. The helicopter mode is fantastic. Both modes, in the robot and helicopter mode, are fantastic. The accessories are amazing. I do love them a lot. Just overall, this figure is fantastic. And do I recommend? I highly recommend. If you guys are looking for the best Blackout to ever own, yeah, this Blackout is the way to go. This was 100% worth it. 100% worth it. I love this thing with a passion. But will I be getting other MPM figures? Who never knows? We'll see. But alrighty, guys, I think that's gonna do it for me. If you guys are new to the channel, please be sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to turn on post notifications so that way you guys don't miss any uploads that I do. I love this figure with a passion. You guys deserve this figure. This figure is amazing, and it is top tier. Other than that, it's been Prime as a creator. Remember to stay calm and keep moving on. So I'll make sure to see you guys on the next one till all are one. Bye! Leave a like. I freaking suffered for this.